Hi, boys and girls, and welcome to today's reading lesson. Let's get started by reading our I can statement. I can't identify who is telling the story. So we are going to be learning about how we can identify who is telling a story from their point of view or perspective. We are going to be reading Diary of a Worm today. But before we do that, let's go over our sight words. First one, live. Me, years, back, place. All right, let's go over them one more time. Live, me, years, back, and place. Very good job. Okay, let's get started. This is a book called Diary of a Worm. So this is written as a diary or a journal entry each day. So it has a date and what he did on that day. So some people like to keep diaries or journals that they write what they did in the day. So let's read this, and it is from the perspective of a worm. So let's notice that. March 20th. Mom says there are 3 things I should always remember. 1, the earth gives us everything we need, and it says me. So by looking at the pictures and looking at the words, we can identify who is telling the story. We are learning that it says me here, so we know that the worm is telling the story. The worm has written all of these events that have happened in his life. When we dig tunnels, we help take care of the earth. Must make tunnel, help earth breathe. Number 3, never bother daddy when he's eating a newspaper. Chomp. So we notice that this story is told from the perspective of a worm. So his diary, we're reading his diary right now. March 29th. Today I tried to teach Spider how to dig. First of all, his legs got stuck. I think I've twisted one of my ankles. Then he swallowed a bunch of dirt. I give up. Tomorrow, he's going to teach me how to walk upside down. So the worm has some friends. We learn on this page from his perspective that he tries to teach the spider how to dig. March 30th. Worms cannot walk upside down. Oh, notice that his friend tried to teach him how to walk upside down. April 4th. Fishing season started today. We all dug deeper. Do you guys hear something? Oh, someone is digging. Fishing season, that means they need bait. Maybe some of you have been fishing before, but they use worms to catch fish. April 10th. It rained all night and the ground was soaked. We spent an entire day on the sidewalk. Hopscotch is a very dangerous game. So here we have the worm and his friend. How do you think the worm is feeling right here? We talked about feelings and senses. I think he's feeling very scared. I agree. Now, what about the girl? What if we heard the diary entry from the perspective of the girl? What if she had written about a diary entry about her day? She could have written, yeah, I was playing outside and I was just walking around. Then I saw some worms and they were kind of gross. That could have been her perspective. But because we hear this story from the perspective of the worm, we hear his side where he's terrified to get stomped on. April 15th. I forgot my lunch today. I got so hungry that I ate my homework. My teacher made me write, I will not eat my homework 10 times. When I was finished, I ate that too. Ooh, so it seems like he ate his homework and then he got in trouble and had to write, I will not eat my homework, and he ate that too. Is that following the directions? I don't think the worm followed the directions very well. April 20th. I snuck up on some kids at the park today. They didn't hear me coming. I wiggled up right between them and they screamed. So here we notice that the worm scared these girls right here at the playground. So from his perspective, he's like, oh, these people are scared of me. But from the girls' point of view, they are terrified of the worms because they think they're kind of gross and scary. I love when they do that. So the worm loves scaring away people. May 1st, Grandpa taught us that good manners are very important. So today I said good morning to the first ant I saw. Good morning. There were 600 more of them in line. Good morning, good morning. How you doing? Good morning. Nice to see you. Howdy, good morning. I stood there all day. So all day this day he said good morning to ants. May 8th. Had the worst nightmare last night. Giant birds playing hopscotch. Mom says I have to stop eating so much garbage right before I go to bed. So she means literal garbage. So he had a dream, because it's from his point of view, that a bird grabbed him. Oh my goodness. So that's the perspective of the worm. And the point of view or perspective, we identify who is telling the story, helps us understand the story more. So once we determine on page 1, once we determined that the story is told from the perspective of the worm, we understood the story better, or the diary better, because we know what's going on in his life. So great job reading half of this today. We're going to read the second half tomorrow. I'm going to show you what you're going to be doing on Seesaw. You get to make your very own diary entry from the perspective of the worm. So you're going to pretend that you're the worm for the day. So it is 10/22/20, and I gave an example for today. So I said, today I went to the beach. This is what I did today if I was the worm. Diary of a worm, notice that. Today I went to the beach. First, I wiggled in the sand. Then I touched the water. It was cold. Next, I almost got hit with a beach ball. Lastly, I went back home after my long day in the sun. So if I were a worm today, this is what I would have done. I am going to make sure that I write in complete sentences on the right side, and my date is already written for me, and so is my worm right here. And then I'm going to draw a detailed picture of what happened in the day. So right here, you'll notice you have a blank entry, and it says Diary of a Worm. Here's the date. You're going to write right here what you would do today if you were the worm. You're going to tell a diary entry. You're going to write a diary entry from the worm's perspective. Then you will draw a picture over here. If you would rather write on a separate piece of paper, write your entry and your picture on a separate piece of paper and upload a picture on here, that's totally okay. I would like you to take your time in doing this. I want to see capital letters, complete sentences, and periods at the end, okay? When you're finished, you can click the check to turn it in. I am so proud of the work that we have done, and I can't wait to see your work. Bye, boys and girls.